Transfer portal never ceases, apparently. Georgia gets richer with a few additions. One notable one that has Georgia fans remembering what kind of university we are. And does this, in fact, mean Carson Beck has better odds at the Heisman? Let's discuss next on Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs, linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege. More on them in a moment. It is post Super Bowl Sunday. We're here talking about the Bulldogs. It is football season. Look, there's off season. There's stuff to come. We are very close to all of a sudden talking about the two deep at G-Day and all that fun stuff happening at Georgia. But today we are talking about the continuation of the transfer portal. We're talking about the continuation of weapons added to Carson Beck's senior season, the Lambeau season, if you will. 2024 Lambeau year, Carson Beck. So three things we're talking about. We're talking about the transfer, who we get in tight end, Benjamin Urosek. We'll talk about him in a minute. We'll talk then about what kind of implications this has for all the weapons that are now on Georgia's team on the offensive side, because this just in, it's deeper. Like, it's deeper in offensive weaponry that Mike Bobo and all you Mike Bobo haters can go ahead and make a little enclave onto yourself and yell and scream at each other in a room that nobody cares about. We'll shut the door. You guys can throw your temper tantrum all you want over there, because you could have had an offensive coordinator named Bill O'Brien come to your school and then go to Boston College. And then you could have Chip Kelly, who was a head coach and took a demotion to be OC. You could have that, I suppose. Or you can have an OC that said he was going to come follow the head coach of your program from Washington down to the South and said, never mind, I'm staying in the Pacific Northwest where it rains all day, with a quarterback situation that I was really not sure with a new head coach. It's wild. Go in a room, shut the door, and yell to yourself in a mirror. Mike Bobo haters. Carson Beck has more weapons. Mike Bobo has more weapons. We're talking about who that is. And then lastly, what does this mean for implications of Heisman odds? Well, I'll try to give you an understanding of how, like, for the record, no Georgia quarterback will win the Heisman Trophy. Just like sign, seal, deliver, go ahead and take it, put it away, put it in the bank. It's not going to happen. Okay. But I'll handicap the odds, because right now Carson Beck is tied for the best odds Vegas is giving for the Heisman of 2024. It's not going to be Carson Beck. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to handicap it. I'm going to put in order other guys who are ahead of him for the loyal 199, those who have been ride or die all the way through, loyal third segment listeners since the beginning of Talking Dogs days all the way till now. So let's begin with Benjamin Urosek. Who is this young man that is just transferring out of Stanford back over to the SEC powerhouse, Georgia? College football powerhouse, Georgia, I should say. Who he is? Well, he's coming from Stanford. Just quick, if you don't know him, let me introduce you to him. 6'4", 242, out of Baco, which if you haven't been to Bakersfield, it's okay. You don't need to. I've been there many times. I-5 is horrible. Don't worry. Move on. He decided he wanted out of Baco. He went all the way up to Stanford, get an education. He is a fantastic, coming out of high school, he was a fantastic. I had offers from Notre Dame, Washington, UCLA, Stanford. If you don't understand, Washington, Notre Dame, good schools. This kid is intelligent. He is smart. Those are highly academic schools. UCLA is as well. However, those schools also have offenses. Notre Dame frequently uses tight end. Washington frequently uses seam players in their offense. Not anymore, because apparently the best coach in all of college football went from Washington, left that, and went down to Alabama. So I've been told. That's what people are telling me. UCLA, same thing. Chip Kelly. Been over there. He comes out of Bakersfield, 3-star out of college, out of high school, had a lot of offers to go play all around the country. Big target, has some quickness in his hips to him. He was, as a freshman, started. That was a COVID year. It was a bummer deal, understandable. But if you look at his stats since that time, he was on the Mackey Award, the list, heading into junior year, Mackey Award finalist. really quick question. Anybody else know of a Mackey Award finalist or watch list guy that has been at Georgia? See, what we're getting, you might look at them and Benjamin Urosek, okay, funky name, doesn't have eye-popping numbers, 3-star kid. Okay, can I just warn you, another kid came out of California that was not highly rated. Nobody else wanted him. Kirby Smart and staff and people on Twitter looking at Brock Bowers in some sort of pre-combine workout and dogging him for not having Vernon Davis like physique. It's okay. He just balls. Like he just catches and runs and scores touchdowns and outruns, outmaneuvers, plows through your defensive players. That's all he does. Ben, you're like, I'm not saying he's Brock Bowers, but what I'm telling you is another kid that was in an offense that had no weaponry. You want to talk about no weaponry. To be on a finalist or to be on a watch list for any offensive award out of Stanford is in and of itself the award. Like Shaw hasn't been, Andrew Luck, Christian McCaffrey, they ain't been there at Stanford in a long time. So for you to have an award watch list as a tight end in an offense that is anemic in the Pac-12 at Stanford that hasn't won anything in a long time is in and of itself impressive. The guy catches lots of passes. He has lots of yards. He was a leader on that offense. He was a leader for them. He comes over to Georgia because he understands the tight end room is stacked and the tight ends get developed. Now, I'm not saying he's better than Oscar Delp. I'm not even saying he's better than some of the other kids that we got coming in. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-American, all-SEC. What I am saying is he's coming over to Georgia to get developed at a place that he knows he can, because it's been shown to do so. Because 2 tight ends and 2 draft classes back-to-back for Georgia, it's going to be 3 with Oscar Delp and many others. And the recruiting classes that they have are going to get drafted and go play for NFL teams because they get developed. That's the end story. So Benjamin Urosek says, I want to go to the NFL. It's been a great ride on the West Coast. I want to go where I can play for Mike Bobo, get an offense. The guy can block. He's a great inline blocker. He's a great pass catcher. He's a great seam guy. This is a better Charlie Warner. And Charlie Warner, Super Bowl playing Charlie Warner. That's who this cat is. I think it's a great transfer. It's not an area of need. It's like the ETN. Did we need another tight end? No, we didn't need another tight end. Do we have another tight end? Yes. Can you always use another tight end? Can you always use another weapon? Can you always use more people out there doing their thing? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. This is what Georgia has done and will continue to do. Get recruits, get the best players, get them over to the SEC, get them into the program, coach them up. This is fantastic. This is more depth, more understanding for Carson Beck and this Georgia offense. We're going to come back after these, and I'm going to tell you why this is quite impressive for Carson Beck, because now he has more weapons, and I'm going to talk about the depth of these weapons, because this just in, guys, it's sickening how much depth we have. But first, I want to talk about these. And these are, in fact, LinkedIn. LinkedIn.com/lockedoncollege. Post your job for free right now. LinkedIn, fantastic place to go. You need to get there if you need somebody to add to your team. If you need to bring potential game-changing performers like Benjamin Urosek into your team, that's where LinkedIn Jobs is the case. Daniel and I, my co-host, would tell you that it's who you know, not what you know. It's how you work as a team. It's how chemistry works in a team. And that is LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the best all-around ability to get people into your team where they need to go, or for you to find a new team for you to go. And right now you can post your job for free. LinkedIn.com/lockedoncollege. It's going to give you a border around letting everybody know you're hiring, and millions upon millions upon millions of people will see this, understand a network of associates who don't have to filter through ridiculous rock, paper, scissors questions on an interview. Don't do that. Don't mess around. Don't waste your time. LinkedIn.com/lockedoncollege is the place that you're going to go to get the best candidate for your team, or for you to find a team that fits for you. That's LinkedIn.com/lockedoncollege. Post your job for free. We come back to talk about the addition of Benjamin Urosek and what this means for the Georgia offense. And this just in, the Georgia offense is absolutely stacked. We've said it every single year, and every single year it has been true. And many people, many Dog fans are saying, well, why can't we ever go get top tier wide receiver talent? That's fundamentally untrue. Ladd McConkey will be drafted high. Ladd McConkey is a top tier wide receiver. George Pickens, Jorge, is a top tier talent, will be top 3. If the Steelers ever let him go, or the Steelers have any competency on offense, will be a top 3 wide receiver in the league. Period. You want to talk about Dylan Bell and what he gives is the combination of speed, size, athleticism, and ability. The guy gets his hands on the balls as a freak. Like, guys, we get top tier talent. Stop telling me just because he doesn't, the wide receivers don't have 1,600 yards in the Heisman conversation like Ohio State, doesn't mean we don't have top tier talent. And there's other kids on this squad that will be blazing fast and show you a thing or two in this coming year. Case in point, let me talk about Ra Thomas. He showed out last year and was a dependable wide receiver. Dylan Bell is probably my favorite dog on this offense. I'm not even going to lie. Like, just as a dude who, if I'm going to go ahead and say, this is the dude, this is my guy. We have running backs, we have tight ends, Oscar Delp and fantastic. But if I need a dude that I'm just saying, hey, it's 3rd and 7 and I need a first down, Dylan Bell better be on the field. Okay. How about Dom Lovett? Did he show some ability, some catch ability, some after the run, some contested catches? Yes, he did. And we got guys coming in. Colby Young is a dude that is upon all dudes. Landon Humphreys is another guy, Vanderbilt. We got these transfers coming in. We didn't need wide receivers. We have wide receivers. And from top to bottom, there's no drop off. Like, typically you go to another school and you have top tier talent. And if they're out of the game, or if they can't play, or if they're being shut down, you bracket, you double cover them, you do some cloud defense over the top. All of a sudden, when you look at top to bottom, Anthony Evans, Landon Humphreys, Colby Young, Ra Thomas, Dylan Bell, Dom Lovett. Holy jeez. This is just stacked upon stacked everywhere. And now you add Benjamin Urosek, Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, Pierce Sperlin. Oh, hold on. I haven't even gotten to the running backs yet. Running backs, Trevor Etienne. Okay. Stud already. All SEC type player already. Is he going to come in and he's going to be the standalone in that running back room? He's going to be head and shoulders above everybody else? Oh, no, because Branson Robinson, Andrew Paul, already there. Frazier, running back, freshman. Guys, when I tell you that Carson Beck has weapons upon weapons upon weapons upon weapons everywhere, just literally everywhere on the field that you look, there is a dude who can take it the distance, who can get in there. And now you add Benjamin to this, and he's going to be an inline blocker. If you're nervous about Freeling over on the right side, an easy way to get, have a couple of guys, Oscar Delp and Urosek, that are fine blocking, are not just receivers. Put them over there. Have a chip block over in the Y. Do a little Y motion over there, guys. When I tell you Carson Beck came back for his senior year, and the reason he came back for senior year is to go ahead and get Lambeau season, but also because he knew he was going to have a plethora, a cornucopia, if you will, of incredible top tier talent, not just guys returning, but right guys returning. Ra Thomas, Dylan Bell, Dom Lovett, those three right there. If you gave Carson Beck those three, he's like, sweet, sounds good. Add on that, like I said, Oscar Delp, Colby Young, Landon Humphreys coming on in. I still think Anthony Evans is going to show out in such a way this year. If you gave me you gave me one dude, I'm taking Dylan Bell. If you gave me a dark horse to be that dude, I'm taking Anthony Evans. And then upon all this, Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky. You've seen their film, you've seen their tape. Now, Urosek's not going to be. It's like Etienne. Urosek is Etienne of the tight end room. He's not going to be the dude that comes in and all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, without him, we'd be toast. Without him, we'd be depleted. We're saved in the tight end room by this touchdown machine. Nope. That's not what I'm saying. Don't hear me say that. Don't hear me get on this and say he's changing the trajectory of offense. What I'm telling you is that each and every year, the floor of this offense keeps on going up. We saw it in the SEC championship game. We got punched in the mouth, and our offense was not there. Our defense was the problem in the SEC game because offense started getting on. The defense couldn't make a stop to save our lives. We got punched in the mouth and our gut ripped out. The floor of the offense, and Mike Bobo and Kirby Smart, keeps on trending upwards. We're not subject to only one-hit wonders or guys that come and go, and we're not only subject to the transfer portal. The transfer portal is now back-end help, not top-end, first out of the gate help. That's Oscar Delp. But if you want to shut the door on a floor, that's where you get a guy who was an all Pac-12, who was on a short list of Mackey Award winners. Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am for this offense. This offense is better than last year's offense. We had the best offensive player. We had the best player in college football in Brock Bowers. Now, he won't be drafted number 1 because that goes to a quarterback and then a left tackle and then probably a cornerback and then probably another left tackle or another right tackle, whatever you want to call tackle. That's likely what's going to be the case. Another quarterback, 3 quarterbacks in the first 5 picks, Drake Mays and the like. Okay. But we're losing the best player. And I'm telling you, our offense is going to get better. Yes, I do, because we have, and Ladd McConkey gone. Okay. That sucks. That's not great. That's awful. Kendall Milton gone. Okay. I believe this offense, the floor of this offense now has risen. The ceiling, I think, has risen. Will we get there? It's going to be Carson Beck's job, because Carson Beck is the straw that stirs the drink of Georgia football in 2024. As Carson Beck goes, so goes our entire season. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. That's all I can say. Be excited, though, because the straw has plenty of options from whence to drink from. It's fantastic. Hey, Loyal 199, we're going to come back after this. I'm going to let you know the Heisman odds for Carson Beck and what that means for you rooting or betting and how that plays out next. But first, these. And these are, in fact, FanDuel, FanDuel.com/locked on. It's fantastic time to be part of FanDuel. You need to get over there right now. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. You win $5 bet, whatever it is. You win on that, you get $150 in bonus bets. That's $150 if your bet wins. Bet on all your favorite NBA teams with quick bets, live same game parlays, exclusive props, and more. Just visit FanDuel.com/locked on and shoot your shot. FanDuel, official sportsbook of the NBA. All right, now let's handicap Carson Beck's Heisman odds. I'm going to give it to you what it is right now, who he's in comparison to, and I'm going to tell you where he should actually rank. I'm not going to sugarcoat this 199. By the way, 199, glad you're here. Loyal third segment listeners, ride or die, people with Locked On Bulldogs. All the days from talking dogs all the way till now, Gurf, everybody. We love you guys. Find us over on Twitter at Dawgs Podcast. Send us an email. We love interacting with you all. You guys are the best. Absolute best. Okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, 199. Carson Beck's not winning the Heisman. He might get invited to New York. That might be true. He might get in there, but he's not winning the Heisman. No, why? Why? Because no Georgia quarterback will win the Heisman. Kirby Smart will not allow it, because Kirby Smart is not Ryan Day and doesn't need CJ Stroud to go off for 500 yards to beat you. Kirby Smart wants to win games. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about stats. He doesn't care about beauty contests. He doesn't care about anything. He cares about winning the football game. And to do that, you need a running game. You need a passing game. You can't be one-dimensional. You need power. You need spread. You need quick pace. You need slow milk the clock. You need it all. And Carson Beck does not have the ability to just go out there and get 5,000 yards passing. It's just not. It's not what he does. We're not going to do that. We're not going to put up unreal video game numbers. Now, could Carson Beck? Yes, which is why Carson Beck will be a top 2, top 3 quarterback in next year's draft. Mark it down. Carson Beck's going to go ahead and make some money, and he already has made money. Again, Lambeau season, but he will make money in the NFL, and he will get developed, and he will have plenty of options. But it's a bounce attack. It's not a force-fed offense. It's not an offense that tries to only be one-dimensional. It's not an offense that, well, SEC game aside, that is just a bee in our bonnet still. That SEC game where I got punched in the mouth was horrible. But Mike Bobo and Kirby Smart want to go ahead and win games. That's all they care about. They don't care about video game numbers. So Carson Beck won't be. Now, let's talk about where he is. Right now, betting favorite, Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck plus 750. That means if you bet $100 and you win, you get your $100 back plus 750. Okay. Or another way to put it, $10 instead of, you're thinking $100. $10 gets you 85 total. The $10 plus 75. Okay. Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers plus 750. Dylan Gabriel plus 1,000. I'm going to come back, give you dark horse candidates. Just put an asterisk right there next to that, because that's what we call value. Let's keep going down the list. Jalen Milroe plus 1,200. My gosh, just throw money away. If you were to tell me that Jalen Milroe had a offensive coordinator that they will get, because right now they have no offensive coordinator, he doesn't have enough weapons around him. He has enough running game. If you're telling me Milroe might take a option, like, I'm not kidding you. That dude is a fantastic runner, fantastic athlete, horrible thrower of football, horrible decision maker. We got smashed in the mouth by them. We did not get lit up in the air by them. Jalen Miller is not winning the Heisman. He might get enough numbers if they switch the offense around. If DeBoers changes his offensive system, which Penix was not. Like, look at Penix. I hate when people talk about Penix as this Michael Vick. Like, no. Penix was not. Penix is a pocket passer with mobility. If you had to make that spectrum, which nobody does, and we shouldn't say mobile versus pocket passer. I always say it's quarterback because you have to be mobile. Carson Beck has to be mobile in the pocket, has to step up, has to be elusive, has to run, which we saw him be able to do. If they find a system that can accentuate his running ability, which DeBoers has not done with Penix in Washington, it's going to be good. Will Howard, Ohio State, plus 1,200. Okay, I can actually see that. That's actually right where I'd put him. Nico, Tennessee, quarterback, plus 1,500. Now, will they have offensive weapons at wide receiver for Heupel and them? I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Garrett Nussmeier, LSU, plus 1,800. Jackson Arnold, plus 1,800, Oklahoma. Jackson Dart, Ole Miss, 1,800. I'm going to give you where I think I would put Carson Beck, and it's right here in between. It's right at 1,800. It's right with Jackson Arnold, Jackson Dart. That's where I'd put him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th on the list for odds of Heisman. Now, talent-wise, I'm putting him near the top. Quinn Ewers, yeah, I mean that's probably the talent level that I'm putting him at. Cam Ward is pretty talented going to Miami. He's a talented kid at Washington State. But if you're telling me where I'd place him, I'm handicapping him way down, guys. 8th, 9th on the list for odds, which in that case, if you want to talk about Heisman finalist, if you can get an odd for Heisman finalist of Carson Beck, and it was at that 1,800 something else, okay, now you're talking value. Now I'm going to make a bet. I'm making a bet for him to win at plus 750. Not going to happen. 8th on the list. Here are, if I were to give you some odds for Heisman dark horses, here's where I'd go right now. Jackson Dart, 1,800. Yep. Give me those odds. Okay. They lost their top running back. They had a whole plethora of guys come into the portal, and he is back in Lane's offense. Yes. Cam Ward, Miami. Yes. 2 dark horses. Cam Ward plus 2,000. That's fantastic. Nico, Tennessee, I'd do the same. I'd take a flyer at that one, 1,500. Dylan Gabriel at plus 1,000. I think he wins it. I think Dylan Gabriel wins the Heisman this year at Oregon. That's my guess. That's my punch my ticket right now. But, I mean, Cam Ward, the value of 2,000. DJ Uiagalelei gets 2,500 at Florida State. Don't waste your money. Now, a really dark horse candidate, if Missouri has a great year, man, Brady Cook has plus 3,000. Brady Cook's a good quarterback. He can run, he can pass. If they don't absolutely get scared to death by their opponents this year, I think they'll be fine. And then Noah, Arizona, Fifita. Y'all saw, now Arizona doesn't have the same coaching staff. There's a huge exodus of it's bad. They're all going to Washington now with a new head coach from Arizona. That dude can ball too. So do you see like the value and the system and the schedule is just not in Carson Beck's favor. We're trying to win games. It's going to be a hard season as it is. Going to Austin, going to Tuscaloosa, and don't be fooled. Tuscaloosa is still going to be a ridiculously hard game. Don't take the bait on the point spread. Carson Beck's not winning the Heisman. 8th is where I'd put him. I gave you my dark horse candidates. And we're going to be back all this week. Daniel's going to be back. We're going to be talking all things Georgia. Maybe do a little best Kirby roster we've ever seen. The guys that Kirby has recruited, who would we take? Play along with us. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We'll be back all this week talking Georgia football and basketball every single day. We'll see you guys then.